Welcome everybody. My name is Ian Leffingwell, and I'm going to share with you what are some of the biggest lessons that I got from attending Funnel Hacking Live. It was known as the Last Dance in 2025. The reason why is because for 10 years, Russell Brunson, founder of ClickFunnels, have been hosting this marketing conference. If you don't know what Funnel Hacking Live is, this is a place where digital marketers or business owners, coaches, authors, speakers, many of the top minds in just about any industry, they're attending this conference where they get together like by the tune of thousands, like 5,000, 7,000, 8,000 different online entrepreneurs come together, and they share some of the best strategies, the latest marketing methods that are working right now, not like things that were outdated like yesterday or last year or the year before, but things that are like in this ever shifting market. It's how marketers and entrepreneurs around the world are staying up to date on these concepts that can radically transform their life. So it's a really cool event, a community of entrepreneurs who are on a mission and driven by impacting the world for the better. They come together and just share some of the best strategies. So this year, Russell Brunson was saying that this is it. After a 10-year run of changing people's lives, they are no longer doing Funnel Hacking Live anymore. This is the last opportunity. And I'm like, man, I've gone to it 4 times now. And every time that I come back, my team always hears stories about people I've met, experiences I gained, lessons that I learned, we've been able to implement in our business, and our business has been able to grow. And so this year, I wanted to bring as many of my team members as I could. So what I did is I let them all know. I said, if anyone on my team wants to come to Funnel Hacking Live, I'll pay for your travels and your tickets and make sure that you can get there, because I want you to be able to experience this. It's really a life-changing experience. So it's really important to see that. So I was able to attend with my team and be able to meet some Melanie is a client of ours. I met her for the first time in person. We've been coaching her onward online, and Christopher, a client of mine, he joined us as well, and it was really just a joy to be able to come. And you know, tickets are like $1,000 per ticket, not including the travel, food, and housing, lodging, and things like that. But it's completely worth it. And what I realize is the power of investing in ourselves, because a lot of times people, entrepreneurs, they want to monetize their knowledge online, but they're so afraid of investing in themselves, and they think that they can't afford it, or it's too expensive, or that they can't do this. And what I find is a lot of struggling health educators, they don't invest in themselves, and that's why they're always struggling. But successful health educators, they realize that these are not expenses. Business marketing, business training, business like speaker training, and these networking is not an expense, it's an investment, because one relationship, one good idea, one concept applied can radically transform our life and businesses. That's why it makes so much sense. If it wasn't for me continually investing in courses and coaching and seminars and events, in masterminds, and I wouldn't be able to fund our team to be able to come to Funnel Hacking Live and then experience this together. And they're out there making new connections, sharing what we do, and it was great. So like, if we look at just a high level of the event, what I really liked about the event is how strategic the speeches were. When this Funnel Hacking Live is really a masterpiece of an optimized events, where each day of the event, as Russell shared, the goal of the next 4 days, he's going to cover the level 10 offer, which is like an irresistible offer that your ideal client would absolutely love. And then this one-to-many selling presentation, how you can sell in essentially like a signature speech or an infinite sales message. And then how you can take that and then put it into a funnel, or an optimized, which is like an optimized website that's optimized for sales. And then talks about the 2 Comma Club of impact. And he made this goal, this 2 Comma Club award, as like there's 2 commas in $1 million, and he's helped over 2,700 and growing business owners to make $1 million through their funnel. So I really don't know of any other marketer that's been able to help that many people to succeed. So, but what I see is like each event, each speech, each talk, like each speaker is strategically overcoming buying objections that would prevent people from accepting their back-end offer, which helps them to implement all these things. So whether, and as a speaker trainer who helps holistic health educators to monetize their health knowledge online and offline through a signature speech, like I'm looking at Funnel Hacking Live very differently than probably many of the attendees are. But it's true, like your signature speech, I always say, is like a slinky, where you can deliver it in 30 minutes, you can deliver it in 90 minutes. It could be a 5-day challenge where it's like an hour a day, or it could be like a 4-day events where there's several hours each day. But no matter what, it's the same speech. You could just stretch or you could shrink to fit the container that you have. In this case, it was a 4-day event where there's multiple speakers, and every speaker was intentionally selected to be able to overcome a buying objection that would prevent people from taking advantage of the back-end offer. And it was amazing to be able to see people signing up and learning. And because while you're there, you're able to gain so much content, so much value, so many like problems are being solved, and it's all very intentional. So a lot of people are wondering, like, Enoch, did you find out why it was the last event? What is going on here? And has Russell lost his mind? Is this being serious? Is this a gimmick? Is this really, like, is Funnel Hacking Live no more? Like, that's his big event for the last 10 years. He's been doing it. So I listened to a interview by Barry Baumgartner, and she runs a company called Sage Events, and this is really like her and her team is the brains behind some of the largest events in the world, going from like Funnel Hacking Live, Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con, all of Tony Robbins' events, his UPW and different events. Pete Vargas, she works closely with Pete Vargas, which is just like, and so many more, like many of major events in the world, like Barry and her husband Blue is really behind this. And I listened to an interview that she did with one of the ClickFunnels like team members for the events team. He was introducing her as like she was just giving all the hundreds of the event team, which takes hundreds of people to do an event like this at this magnitude. And she was training them, telling them exactly what to do and at what time and what the experience to give to each members, and the schedule, which was like an event within event. And the interviewer was mind blown at how like well thought out and experienced she is. And so he interviewed her, and it was just a few like days or weeks before Funnel Hacking Live. So it was really fresh. And what she mentioned on the interview is that it used to be that in-person events convert higher for attracting buyers, like selling events. But since COVID happened, they found, and they were one of the first companies to pivot, and that's when I learned about them after COVID. They started doing virtual events, and they found that like virtual events actually convert higher than what she called ballroom events, which are big rooms, rent out a conference and do things like seminars like that. And that they actually convert higher. One of the reasons why is because everybody feels like they're on a front row seat to the speaker. The speaker feels like they get a front row seat because Zoom is so incredible that they can create these studios and see all the individual faces and everything that could go down. And they're like, Zoom's made it amazing for people. And so she's saying that, and the hybrid events where you're doing some online attendees and some in-person attendees, it's not the same experience because one of the audience is going to feel like secondhand. They're going to feel like neglected or ignored. So a lot of times it lessens the conversion experience. So they're not less profitable events, which she's like, we've tested it again and again and again. Virtual events are converting higher than hybrid or in-person events, ballroom events, which if you think about it, it takes like 5 million plus to do a big event. And then sure, you're going to make like $10 million from the stage when you present your offer. So it's going to be a net positive, but all the work, the effort and the energy that goes into doing some of these large events, it's no wonder that people like Grant Cardone and Russell Brunson are starting to say like, this is the last 10X Growth Con that we're going to do. So I think what's happening, what we're seeing is that industry leaders are starting to do less of like the selling events for like one-to-many in person, and they're going to do that more virtual. And then what I've noticed Russell Brunson has done is he's built an event center. He has a library, and he's still going to be doing in-person events, but it's more going to be reserved to the higher paid clients or people who are part of their clients on higher tiers, like coaching clients, masterminds. So they're going to do events in person, but those are going to be more like fulfillment events. You have selling events and you have fulfillment events. A fulfillment event might be a workshop, a retreat, or a mastermind, just something that they're able to get together. It's not really optimized or the purpose to sell, but with the intent to sell, it's more of to fulfill on what was sold. And then these large selling events are going to be more online challenges and 3-day summits and various things of that nature. So that's really where things are going with Funnel Hacking Live. So if you've ever wondered, like, is this the last one? Why is it the last one? That's what it sounds like. Another thing that I noticed being a speaker and not just listening to what these people are doing or saying, but paying attention to what they're doing and why they're doing it and what effect it has on the audience. There was Tim Shields who was speaking, and he's garnished millions of followers on Instagram, and he's like one of the world's like best photographers, and he teaches people how to do like landscape photography and has some amazing photos. What he did is he put together what I call like this crowd capture slide. And one of the things that when I'm coaching health educators how to increase their conversions, increase their lead generation, build a list of hungry buyers, is that when you're speaking at an event, and let's say you can't really sell your own program, which for him, he teaches photography to people. So he has all these photography like courses and master classes, and he sold, I believe, over 10,000 units for this thing, and has done webinars in the most remote and amazing places like the Grand Canyon, and has like these backgrounds where he's captivating people. So he's talked about these auto webinars, and he created like 10 webinars, and he put them on autopilot where he sends hundreds of thousands of people to view his webinars, and he makes millions of dollars doing that from anywhere around the world. That's what he's talking about, the laptop life. And he's saying it's not so that you could just like sit on the beach and do nothing, but a laptop life is where you're able to do the work that you enjoy, that's meaningful to you, from anywhere with a laptop. And I was like, yeah, I love that type of definition. It's not about, like, so many times like health educators come, they're like, oh, I don't want to work anymore. I'm tired of working and I want to work less. And it's like, okay, it's like, to a degree, it's like, yeah, with higher leverage and passive income, like you can work less, but I don't believe the goal is so much so that you don't work, you make money so you don't work, but it's more of like, do work that's more meaningful to you. That, like, maybe if you're in a dead-end job or a career that's not going in the direction you believe God's calling you, then yeah, that would be motivation to work less in that. But if you know that the work you're doing is literally saving lives with your health message, it's transforming the lives of others, then why would you want to do less of that? You want to increase the impact that you're able to have. And you can increase your income and impact while decreasing the amount of time it requires for you to do it. So, but I just thought that was really cool. But the strategy behind this crowd capture, if you notice what he's doing, is that he has this dramatic demonstration cheat sheet, which is a concept that he learned from Russell Brunson, and it's a language that everybody knows, is like having an event that promotes your event. And he gave an instant download, and one of the slides he did at the beginning, in the middle, and the end, and he said, for those who will stay to the end, who will watch to the end, we've got a special training for you. And then those who stayed to the end of his webinar, then he actually put up there, this is a free download. And while he's giving the free download for his webinar, explaining it to us, he's also showing us that you're able to, you could download this from Funnel Hacking Live. You're able to use this as well. So this crowd capture is really powerful for you to be able to like capture the emails, the phone numbers, the contact information from a crowd when you're speaking to them. So this is something that I teach my students. A lot of times I'm like, look, if you're going to do a health nugget at church, if you're going to do like Razia, she was just on our coaching call yesterday, and she's like, I've got a interview. Someone's been watching my content, And I've been helping her with this content creation. Someone watched, and now they want to interview her on their YouTube channel where they're able to serve other people. And she's so excited because we've been mapping out her signature speech. She's ready to go. And I was like, when you do that, make sure that you have some sort of offer, a crowd capture. So, and I just saw that again and again from multiple speakers at Funnel Hacking Live. And the crowd capture looks something like this. So if you're interested, if you're ready to craft a signature speech that sells your program, if you'd like to be intentional about how you can have a message that's optimized for sales, like Funnel Hacking Live, like Razia, like other people we work with, just text the word speech to 424-243-6624. That's our phone number. If you just text the word speech, then we'll be happy to help you to learn how to speak in a way that actually brings business to you. Because a lot of health educators, the way that they teach, I learned the skill set of speaking to teach is very different than the skill set required to speak to sell. And if you want to learn how to sell from stage one to many, this is the way to go. These are the same lessons that helped me to make $10,000 a month in my early 20s, learning how to speak to sell with a signature speech. So that's like an example. And you're able to put crowd capture slides like this in a health nugget, in a YouTube interview, or in different places. And it really helps make a huge difference. So speaking of which too, one thing that I really like personally about Funnel Hacking Live is the opportunity to meet with some of my clients. And here's Melanie Monique. She helps people with vocal wellness and helps them to access the power of the sounds of their voice to create the outcomes they desire in relationships and business. And it's been really good. So for us, we had the opportunity, one, to meet in person, two, to just hang out and go to the different places. We said like, hey, if you would like to stay with the ladies on our team, you guys can share a room. We already bought it, and you're welcome to stay with her. So they were able to get to know each other. We drove together because I have our ministry van. We were able to drive around in Las Vegas, and we did an implementation workshop just for her and Christopher and Katharina. So at the end of the conference, we got together and we're like, hey, let's craft out your signature speech together. And because we were there, why not, right? And I find that what's so important is to be able to over deliver on our promise, like deliver more than what we promise. A lot of clients, a lot of health educators that may promise big things, but then under deliver. And that's the last thing we want to do. We want to give more than what we promise and do more than what most, like, I always like in our free content to give more than what most people charge for, because my goal is like, I want people to think, well, if Enix free stuff is this good, imagine how much better it'll be when they pay for it. So you never want to give for free what you couldn't otherwise charge for a fee. And that's something good to keep in mind. Another thing that I saw was when we were together, Melanie had shared with us that she's been coaching with us for several months now. And she felt in alignment before, but now being able to hang out with us 4 days and really get to know me, the team, and how we are, she's like, I feel more in alignment than ever before. And I thought that was really cool because a lot of times who you see on camera is not who they are offline. And the picture it is, there's a lot of concerns out there that people are like, I don't want to get scammed. I don't want someone to just take my money and leave, and just like, that's going to be bad, right? Because many of us have been burnt online. Some of us have promised, I'll never spend money again on another course or coaching again. And honestly, it's not their first rodeo. But she shared that story and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Would you be willing to do like an interview where you could just say that on camera? And she said, sure. So what we did, as you could see on the screen, Katharina, Melanie, and I, she just pulled up her phone, and then I asked her a few questions. One of the peoples that we're working with, Mommy Mango, she wants to increase her client success stories. She wants to increase more stories that she has. And one of the ways is really just like scheduling time to be like, hey, let's just ask some questions. What was it like working with us? What would you recommend it to someone else? Was there anything surprising that you thought? How were you before working with us? How are you afterwards? What has been your favorite part? Just different questions so that you can hear from someone else. You know, Proverbs says, let another man praise thee, another and not thine own lips. So when you have an opportunity to if you are able to help get someone a result where they're satisfied, happy, they paid you and they're glad about it, don't let that opportunity slip. If you could do it in person, awesome. If you can schedule a Zoom and talk with them and record it, like, hey, that's great too. So that was really fun for me. And you can think about it when you're at events with people. Almost at any time, you can pull out your phone and just record someone giving a testimony. So get in the habit. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but Melanie was super happy to do it. And I'll show you that others asked me the same thing at the trip, and I was totally willing. It is a habit of successful health educators to be quick to record the testimonies. When people say a result or something amazing, capture that on camera. You could use that for a signature speech. When someone says like, wow, you're so clear, you simplified things, this makes sense, or look what I was able to do, I have more energy because I took your advice. Anytime someone says that, record it, like pull out your phone right then and there. So that's a takeaway that I got too. On day one, Russell Brunson does these award ceremonies for people who get $1 million. You get a 2 Comma Club award. And you could see on the left, this is Nick, and he's the youngest $100 million award winner in ClickFunnels. And on the top left, what Russell's holding, that is a 2 Comma Club award. So he's got a funnel that made $2 million, and the one in the middle is the $100 million award. So that's what you earn. And then the one on the bottom right with the X is 2 Comma Club X is 10. So that's $10 million award. So he won his first 2 Comma Club when he was like 19 years old, and he's from India. He wasn't able to make it out because of like immigration issues. And then by age 22, he was able to win this $100 million award, which is really amazing to see how fast, when you find where you fit, how fast you can go from your life can be changed. It doesn't have to take long. It could be a radical transformation in a short amount of time. So it was cool meeting Nick. One of the reasons for me, because just seeing someone younger than me by like 5 years or so, it was really cool to recognize that there's a lot of opportunity. Like, principals don't care if you're old or if you're young, if you're Indian, if you're Mexican like me, or if you're white or you're black. Principals don't care. 100% of the people who apply these business principles, they're able to get the results of applying. So that was just, the awards ceremony was really eye-opening to me. I think it was inspiring for our team to be able to see the types of people that join. I love seeing the families that come up with like the mother, the father, the children, and they're just like, it just touches my heart because I love seeing family businesses. Another person I was able to meet, again, I was able to talk with Pedro Adao, and I learned a lot from him. But this time I went to him and I let him know that I've followed some of the principles he taught about doing a challenge and how to crush it with challenges. I've bought his courses like a couple times, and I went through it. And then I've been able to have, I told him some of the success we've been able to have. And I remember telling myself, like, I'm going to be one of his best success students. I'm going to be, and I like to tell myself that whenever I'm buying programs. Like, a lot of health educators, struggling health educators, before investing in a program, they're saying, well, what if I do all this work and it doesn't work? What if I go through all this effort and then I fail? What if I buy this and it's a scam? What if I don't have enough discipline? And they imagine all of these stories that are so disempowering that paralyzes people from taking action. And what I find is that instead, what I tell myself is, I'm like, look, they have client success stories. If they can do it, so can I. And what I also tell myself is like, okay, I'm going to be this mentor's best success story. I'm not saying like, oh, I can't, like other people have a gift and I don't. I'm like, I'm going to be their best. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell them how their principles have changed my life, my business, impacted my family, and I'm going to let them know. And then when I see these stories, I'm like, look, I'm going to be one of those stories that they're able to share with other people to inspire people to transform their life because of what I learned from this investing in this coaching program, this course, this seminar. And so with that in mind, I realized I'm able to take action faster. Because here's the thing, both of them are stories we make up in our head. Like, it's all a story that we made up. Just like going to the grocery. If I say that I'm going to go to the grocery store at 3 p.m., like, you're making up stories all the time, every day. But it's like, if you say, I'm going to go to the grocery store at 3 p.m., it's like, well, maybe, maybe not, because you could be on the way at 2:45 and smack into a car. And now you've totaled your vehicle, and now you got a different plan. But you convinced yourself in advance, before anything ever happened, that at 3 o'clock you're going to be at the grocery store, at the destination you desire. My point is, if we're already making up stories in our head, why not make up stories that are empowering? Why not make up stories that will help you to take action on towards your dreams and an impact in getting your health message to the masses and transforming the lives of people you're called to serve? So that's what I find is a difference between successful health educators and struggling health educators. When they make an investment, instead of asking yourself, what if this fails? Start asking, how awesome will it be when this works? How life transforming will this be when I take action and it works for my business, my message, my movement, the people I'm called to serve? So that's what I did. And then what do? I went up to Pedro, and I was like, hey, Pedro, I just want to let you know, I took your trainings a few years ago. I've been doing a monthly challenge every month for about 2 years. And in the beginning, some of them weren't profitable, but then I started figuring things out, and your profitable niche finder really helped me out and getting more clear on who I'm uniquely equipped to be able to serve. And I just shared with him some of the different trainings that I went through that was helpful and what the effect it was. And he just looked at me, he's like, hey, would you be willing to like get that on camera? I have my videographer here, and we could like take that testimony. I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And he's like, okay, here, let me give you my number. And so we exchanged his phone number, and I was like, hey, I'm happy to get his phone number. And then I took a photo together, and here's a quick tip that I learned, a networking tip I learned from a millionaire networker. He's like, look, he doesn't use business cards. He's like, business cards are archaic. This is what I do. When you've got your phone, when you want to exchange contacts, pull up your contact, put your phone in their hands, and let them type in their information, and then take a photo together, and then you're able to send it to them, text them. And what I like to do is I like to text to say, hi, Pedro Adao, this is Enoch Leffingwell. So that way they have my entire message, and then my entire name, and I have their name. And then like my assistant's able to help like create the contacts a lot of times, but other times you could put it in their hands, and then they'll type it in. But with that photo, they see your face, they see your name, and if you could like, and then I'll do voice to text and say, hey, it was great talking to you about how applying your principles changed my life. I do look forward to doing that interview with you and your videographer. Send just a quick note about what we talked about, so they remember and I remember, because there's a lot of contacts that we get throughout the event. And then he responded, and then he called up his videographer, and we went around and we recorded it. And so we were able to do an interview with Pedro Adao and I, and for him to share with his audience. I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. So really, one thing that I would encourage you to do is whenever you're investing in a mentorship or coaching, coursing, marketing, business training, like make the determination to be their best success story, and make up that story. If you're going to be making up a story already, then why not make up a story that's empowering? So that's what I would suggest. And I asked him like, he asked me, what do you do? And I said, I help holistic health educators to monetize their health knowledge by packaging it into a best-selling book, then building a business on the back of that book through signature speech, a high-ticket health coaching program, and that's able to sell. Their speech can sell their program. And he's like, I love it. I love publishing. I fully believe in that. That is so awesome. And I told him too, because Pedro Adao teaches a lot of like faith-based entrepreneurs. I said, most of my clients are faith-based entrepreneurs. They teach health based on biblical principles. He's like, even better. He's like, that is amazing. So like knowing your audience, knowing who you're speaking to, it makes a difference. He's like, if you need help with a repitch, or if you need help with like a speaking, or you want me to speak for your audience, I'd be totally down to. I'm like, awesome. That sounds great. And so I'm going to do an interview with Pedro Adao and just share some of the insights that maybe about how how he's published a book, how books transformed his business, maybe about his concepts about challenges, or about speaking one-to-many. I'm going to share with you some of our mentors. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to come to this Funnel Hacking Live, is just get in front of some of my mentors again and get them on an interview, because I think these interviews is a great way that I could serve my audience of health educators, so that I can give you access to some of the lessons that I've learned, some of the best things I think apply for health educators. So that's something I've really enjoyed. And by the way, also, if speaking of books, if you want to package your health knowledge into a best-selling book, then you can do that. I have a free training. It's called Bestselling Author Secrets Masterclass, and it's going to show you how you can write, publish, and launch either your first or next book within to bestseller within 60 days. And if you want to know how to make big money with a small audience through publishing your health knowledge into a book, and it could be done in literally days, not weeks, not months, but you could publish a book faster, then go to highincomehealthexpert.com/bestselling, or just comment the word bestselling below and we'll send you a link, or text the number bestselling and we'll do that. And what you're going to do is you're going to get to this website, and the website's going to look like this Bestselling Author Secrets Masterclass. Just click I want the masterclass, and in this 90 minutes, it's going to show you everything you need to grow your business with a best-selling health book. And this is going to be this is better than what a lot of people charge $1,000 for. So this masterclass here. And then, but going back to some of the story, another, as a speaker who helps health educators publish their books and grow their business with books, Stu McLaren really stood out to me, because Stu, what he did is, while he spoke, he's the only person who gave a book on every seat of the event. Now, whether Stu paid for it or ClickFunnels paid for it, I don't know. A lot of times events will actually pay. They'll buy 5,000 copies of your book and put it into the audience of all these different seats, which is great lesson to be able to learn. And what one of the benefits that I give some of my clients is, when they're getting speaking engagements, I teach them how they can negotiate in their speaker contract to make these things happen. And so not only he's publishing he's launching this book, and he had everybody raise their hand up with the book that they have so he could turn around and take a photo with them. Stu McLaren is awesome because he has Village Impact. He helps raise schools over in Kenya. He built a business, and the profits from this business goes to his nonprofit, and it's this ministry. It's impacting the world. And also, a lot of people don't know, but every time a funnel is built in ClickFunnels, then they donate $1 to his nonprofit, that is Village Impact, raising schools for children in Kenya and in Africa, and they're training them to be entrepreneurs and funnel hackers and people who are solving problems in the world. It's not just the average, go get a job, get a debt in, good benefits, and just be a cog in the system, but they're being problem solvers, entrepreneurs, leaders in their communities, which I think is really cool about this school. So Stu McLaren, for me, I told him, I was the first time I saw that there was this fundraising for ClickFunnels and how they use the business to further this mission, it made so much sense, because a lot of nonprofits have a hard time raising money. A lot of ministries have a hard time raising money to do their ministry work. But if they would only solve a practical problem in the marketplace and build a business and use the profit from that business to support these ministries and nonprofits and things that they care about, that seems like a much better way in my mind, what I saw, to be able to support causes that you care about. And so it was great. I'd like to interview him too. And one thing that's neat is when you meet people in person, you can ask them, what's the best way to contact you? Because he gets bombarded and inundated from so many different messages. He said Instagram DMs. That's so valuable. He says, I read every single one. I get a lot, but I read every single one. And that's so fascinating, because a lot of times when people are bombarded by different areas, I could send him an email and it could go to who knows where. I could talk to him on Facebook page and he doesn't check it. And it's so easy to be overlooked. But by asking that one simple question, what's the best way to contact you? Instagram DMs, boom. Now we just increase the likelihood so much more of being able to talk with them. And that's something I've asked all the people. And it's something that would be good for you to ask too, so that if you want your messages to actually be seen by some maybe celebrities or influencers or leaders in your industry. Another person was James Malinchak. Again, is an example. James Malinchak, I learned a lot about from speaking, about publishing books, about marketing. He's got a brilliant mind. And just within a few seconds, he's trained a lot of industry leaders and speakers. So I went up to him, I said, hey, and at first he recognized me because of my hat. He recognized me because of our bow tie. I attended an event and he was teaching us. It was a Bestseller on Fire workshop, and just learned a lot about book publishing. And I just told him, from your training, from your experience, this is how my business was before, and this is how my business is now. And a lot of the principles that you teach me, I think about and use on a regular basis. And he was just like, wow, this is so awesome. I'm so proud of you. This is exciting. And, just instantly there was a bond and a connection. And then I was able to ask him questions about like strategic partnerships and affiliates and how he structures that. I was actually blown away how, like one of the things that we do too is with our clients, we let them know, hey, if you want to refer people to our coaching, we're willing to give you a finder's fee. And it's about $1,000 per person who gets sent to us. And then also like with our courses, if you like our best-selling book bootcamp and you want to, you see other health educators who could benefit from a signature speech, from publishing a best-selling book, from getting help monetize their health knowledge online, and you want to send them to us, go right ahead. Like we will give you commissions for anyone who decides to join our program, just to say thank you. And he does that too. And it was just so fascinating, some of the strategies he was sharing. And we just spoke for it was like 30, 40 minutes. And he's just going secret after secret after secret for speaking. And there's a guy next to us who's in like the Inc. 500, but he's like number 68. And he has this health product and that is like transforming people's lives. The guy next to us, he looked like he was 45, but he's actually 65. He's like, guess my age. No joke, he looked 45. And he said, I'm 65. I'm like, what? And it's because he has this reverse aging product that he's got 6 terabytes of testimonials. And he flat out said, he asked like, what do I do? And I said, well, I help health educators to monetize their health knowledge online and build a business on the back end through speaking and coaching. And he's like, I need to work with you because I'm terrible at speaking. I do speak. Sometimes he speaks before thousands of people, but he's like, but my speaking skills are really bad. My sales techniques are really bad, but we've just got such an incredible product and tons of testimonials. So we sell because of that. But I am in this year where I want to learn everything that I can about speaking and improving my skills. I want to learn from everywhere. So that's an opportunity to be able to collaborate and see what can we do to be able to help support him. He's got a lot of areas figured out, but when it comes to the speaking, he's like a babe that is very thirsty and interested. And one thing that you'll find too is that there's a lot of really very wealthy, there's people with large discretionary income that they've got a few things figured out in their life or business, but that doesn't mean they have everything figured out. There's areas of inexperience that people are willing to pay. Premium buyers want to pay for speed. They want to pay to eliminate hassle. If you can help them to lose weight, they'd rather cut a check so they can cut the line and shorten the time that it takes them to be able to lose the weight. So that's a big takeaway I got. Another one is Richmond Den, another experience I led by letting him know. I said, hey, Richmond, this is some concepts I applied from your teaching, and this is where I was before doing that. This is where I am now after doing that. Thank you so much for what you contributed. He's like, this is amazing. And he really appreciated that. I appreciated connecting with him and letting him know. It's a lot like the lepers. There was 10 lepers that were healed by Jesus. And you know how many of them returned to thank Jesus for the healing? Just one. And that is like 9 out of 10 people are not going to thank you for the transformation that you did. I read that verse and I took it to heart. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to wait till people are dead. I'm not just going to get amazing transformation and walk off. I'm going to make sure that all my mentors, people who contributed to my success, that they know that I appreciate them, that I'm grateful for them. And you know, one of the reasons why I have so many testimonials, like we had Razia who studied my company for like 3 months, and she compared me to other companies, and she's like, you know, you're not the only coach that I researched before choosing to work with you. And I was like, oh, really? Why did you choose to work with me and not others? And she's like, well, everyone else that I researched, they, like one had a lawsuit, one had some bad reviews, but like with you, all I could find was positive comments, positive people having good experiences, and they have nothing but good things to say about you. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm honored. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to just have so many satisfied paying clients. So Razia was willing to pay us $10,000, and we helped her within 10 days to make her first $3,000 sale, when before she was struggling to get one-on-one clients for $400. Now she's able to get a group coaching client for $3,000. She crafted a signature speech within those 10 days. We crafted a irresistible high ticket offer, and then she got her first client. And what's really cool is because we were able to help her, she's able to help a young boy with kidney disease. With the knowledge that she fully has the ability to, the mother and the child has gone to doctors doing all these different things, not getting better, getting worse. So it's just, this is what lights us up, why we're so excited to be able to teach marketing to health educators, because you have a message that could literally save lives. So, but my point of saying this is, if you want to have testimonials, like success stories and clients like lined up to share their story about how happy they are to work with you, if you want other people to be singing your praises, so it's not you saying how great you are, but like other people who are just going and referring their friends and family and coworkers and colleagues, and they're just bringing people to you. One of the master secrets that I've found is to be the grateful client, and what I mean that you desire to attract. And what I mean by that is, by me being a person who gives reviews, who goes to individuals and let them know how grateful they are, like be the grateful buyer. So when you get results, like go offer to give testimonials. And like we partnered with a company to provide our AI studio that it's like the world's first and only AI-powered copywriter specifically designed for health educators to monetize their health knowledge online. And so we outsourced, we invested in this team to be able to build this tool for us to do that, and we're able to share with them that. And I recorded a video. I got on a video, I told him how grateful I am, and then he helped me with some technical thing he needed help with. And he's like, would you be willing to share a video? And sure, do I want to go out of my way to record a video when I got a ton of things on my plate to do? Absolutely, because I'm grateful that they were able to help, and we were able to make $21,000 from the back end of that, from our AI studio, and we just launched it like last month. And we made $11,000 within the first 30 days of using the tools. And I'm grateful. So I record a video and I send it to him. That's why I believe that a lot of people send me videos, because Jesus says, do unto others as you'd have done unto you. So maybe if you don't have as many testimonials and you would want more in your business, just become the person who is enthusiastically, expressively grateful for other people's businesses that have helped you. And I guarantee you're going to find more people. It's going to be easier for you to ask for reviews. You're going to find more reviews, and people are going to stop and thank you for what you do. So another conversation I had, they had these workshops, these workshops that, or roundtables, these roundtables with all of these like really successful 8-figure entrepreneurs. And the one that I wanted to meet was Annie Grace. Annie Grace was, she helps people to get control of their alcohol. And she wrote a book, This Naked Mind, became a bestseller. She built a business on the back end of her book. She's got a course and coaching programs. And she was talking about authenticity. And one of the big lessons that I thought was so awesome is that, I mean, there's tons from this roundtable, but one of them, she was saying that when I walked up there, she was talking about how when you're sharing your past and you're being vulnerable and you're being authentic and real and you're just opening your heart up, you want to make sure that you're sharing your scars, not your wounds. And the difference is, if you're sharing a wound, like something painful from your past, like a lesson that you learned, if you pour salt on a wound, that's going to hurt, right? So if sometimes you get these salty comments, people start saying cutting words in the in the comment section or about you when you're publicly sharing something, if you're not prepared emotionally to be able to handle that without that pain, then it's an open wound. It might be good to just wait, hold off on that lesson if you're still going through it. Some people just start like live streaming, and they're live streaming all their trauma, and they're just talking about all the stuff that is like going wrong in their life, and you can see it's like guys, it kind of has like a it doesn't have the best effect. Whereas if you have a scar, you pour salt on a scar, it doesn't hurt. So if someone wants to be salty with you, it doesn't faze you. You've healed from it. So with that, it helps you to prioritize what kind of lessons are good to share publicly in your content, from the stage, from webinars. But like these pains of our past is not just like, there's a purpose for our pain, and it's to be able to like see how our problem becomes our presentation. It becomes our mess becomes our message, our test becomes our testimony. And that's how we're able to transform people's lives. And I just loved it. And I like the work that she does. She's another person I'd like to interview on our show because she's grown over $10 million as a health educator, transforming people's lives in that regard. So, and she gave me her best way to contact her is through her email address. And that's good. So, let me know too, like in the comments, what question would you like me to ask, knowing what you know about Annie Grace that I just told you, or who is a successful health educator you would like to see me to interview on my YouTube channel? And there's a good chance that I'll do it. And then one of my best announcements, my favorite announcements that took place at Funnel Hacking Live was OfferLab. OfferLab.com. They gave us like special access, and what this is basically, think of it like an app store, but for offers. Think of it like a marketplace for offers, so that if you specialize in losing weight and someone else specializes in a supplement, they sell a supplement, and then the third person specializes in like health retreats for like exercise boot camps in like tropical places, and a fourth person specializes in like an online course that's specific for helping mommies to like lose like to train their abs, core, and their pelvic floor. These are 4 different businesses, 4 different people. But what you can do is you can actually, if all 4 of these put their offer onto OfferLab, then a 5th person or any one of them can, let's specialize on what they do, but they can also tack on the supplements. Oh, let's say that you've got like an upsell for supplements that can help support you on this journey. Or let's say you want to retreat. So there's a higher tickets destination event you don't have to fulfill, but you could put it in your sales funnel, in your business as an offer to people, and then you get commissions for those sales. So in 2 ways, other people are selling your offer, so it's being able to get more customers to you on one side, and on the other side, there's other people marketing your offer, and you're getting paid when you like add their offer to your website. So you actually increase the value of what you can provide, and they get commissions, you get commissions, and it makes it so simple. The thing that blew my mind the most is this isn't just a ClickFunnels solution. This is going to work with HubSpot, Shopify, Go High Level, School. It's going to work with all these different platforms. So even if you're not a ClickFunnels user, you can put your offer in OfferLab, and it's going to automatically integrate with these different platforms. That it registers there as a sale, it sets off the automation to send out the supplements to the billing address that was given, and it's like, and then the commissions are automatically distributed. Like, this is so amazing. And I love it. So this is something I'm excited about because I'm all about strategic partnerships. I know that if I can help other people succeed, I'm going to succeed by default. I don't have to focus on all my offers and all the stuff that I do. Just by being able to help lift other people up, I know I will. It's like a tide. When a leader gets better, the whole tide, everything raises. And so OfferLab.com. Don't tell them I told you that, but this was a really powerful takeaway. And then there's another time I was able to meet Danny Welsh. Like, he is the Danny Welsh. As you can see on the right, he is like head of he's very active in customer success for ClickFunnels Facebook group. And ClickFunnels Facebook group has like 200,000, 300,000. There's hundreds of thousands of people in there. A lot of them don't even use ClickFunnels. Some people, like, there's a lot of powerful insights that I can gain when I'm stuck on something, I'm not sure about it. I ask people. And I just told him, I said, hey, I want to thank you so much for your service, for what you contribute to the ClickFunnels group. I've seen a lot of people in there, they're just being like mean, cruel, or they're just complaining. And I'm just like, man, why are you even in this group if you're so disgruntled? And then the way that you handle them with tact, with care, with compassion, you're like, hey, if this is a problem that's unresolved, like I will personally handle it. Here's my booking link. Let's get on a call and make sure that this gets fixed. And just, I've been very impressed by his professionalism. And then I've also, a lot of times I'm searching for a problem and I'm like, yeah, there it is. And I read and it's your comment that solves it for me. And I can go on with my day. I don't really engage too much or post too much, but like your comments have always stood out to me. And I said, thank you. And he just like, it touched his heart. And one thing that I realized is that you want to lead with honest, sincere compliments instead of being so critical and judgmental and like picky with individuals and their flaws, picking out flaws. Like, be a finder of good in others. Like, cultivate the habit of speaking well of others. Like, find things that you appreciate about an individual and they'll appreciate you too. And he's like, so what about you? How has ClickFunnels changed your life? And I told him how I had a heart attack when I was 12 and I was high blood pressure, high cholesterol, borderline diabetic, morbidly obese. But it was because one man with a health message learned how to monetize his health knowledge online, and he packaged it into a book and a program and sold that program to my mother, that I'm alive to tell this story today. So now I help holistic health educators to package their health knowledge into a best-selling book and a program so they can transform the lives of other people. And I told him how ClickFunnels has helped me to make my first dollars in selling my knowledge and digital products online. And I've never had to pay for ClickFunnels because all the money that I get from my clients, like that's covered that and so much more. And he's like, you have an amazing story. Can we interview you? I'd like to interview you. I said, sure, absolutely. So we scheduled the time, and first guy, he was interviewing with his phone. The second guy, he had like his nice camera. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to send you, then we're going to go in this room and we're going to do where the big interviews are, sit down, answer questions. These are longer form. And we're gonna do, this is where we interview the speakers, this is where we interview all sorts of different people. So we're gonna interview you here. And that was like a big setup, as you can see on the screen. And that was great. So I was interviewed again and again and again from ClickFunnels. And last time they interviewed me on One Funnel Away, which again, I met a guy I met him at ClickFunnel Hacking Live, and he's the one in charge of One Funnel Away. And I told him, oh, you're in charge of One Funnel Away. Let me tell you what that challenge has done for me. And he's like, can I interview you? I said, sure. So I got interviewed by ClickFunnels. He sent that to Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson loved the story, and they took a clip and they put it on a Facebook ad and they sent it far and wide of my story. And I had like friends and colleagues and clients, they were sending screenshots. They're like, look, ClickFunnels, like that's your face on ClickFunnels. They're promoting you. And it just expands more. It's like this circle of win, 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 win. And I love it. I think it's awesome. That's the power of starting with sincere, honest appreciation. The photo of Prince EA. Prince EA spoke, and one of the things that he said, I'll never forget when he was on stage. It was really cool. He talked about how when you pick your lane, when you're creating content, you pick a problem you're able to serve, the people you're able to serve, and like pick a lane and stay there. Like pick a subject, area where you are going to specialize in. It's a specialized knowledge. And he said that when you pick a lane, there is no traffic and there's no speed limit. So if you really think about that, it means like there's not competition in your lane that you're assigned by God to fill. There's no speed limit. And you could see it with the 22-year-old who got a $100 million award. There's no speed limit of what can happen in the next 3 years from even now watching this video. And I just find it's amazing. When you pick your lane, you become a category of one and a competition of none. And people know what you do and who you help, and they start bringing other people to you. And that's exactly what happened with Susan Brown. Susan Brown, we met at the Bestselling on Fire workshop at a Go Figure, another event. We really connected. We had lunch together with her and some of her friends, and Christopher, my friend, and we just like shared a lot in common. And it was awesome. We kept in contact since then through Facebook. We were glad to meet each other. And she's like, you got to meet my husband. Come here. And so she brought her husband over. and her husband had lost over 80 pounds. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. He's looking good. And then she bought the domain Fat Men Lose Weight. And she's like, I love it. My husband's excited. And I wanted to introduce you to my husband to meet each other. And she's like, and then she told my origin story to her husband in great detail. She's like, you had a heart attack when you were 12, right? Yes. And you were able to lose 50 pounds, right? Yes. And there was a guy with a health message that was able to change your life. Yes. And now you help other people do the same. Yeah. And so she's just like going through, and I'm like, this is so powerful. By being able to share your story and your message, it makes a difference. So she introduced her husband, who wants to build a business teaching men how to lose weight, which is right up my alley. That's exactly what we do. In our company that made $500,000 in health education, one of the things we did is we helped people to lose weight and feel great. So that was just really fun. And the lesson that I learned from that you can get from this too, is that when you pick your lane, other people will bring people to you that have the interest in paying you and working with you. A lot of times when you're so vague and so general and generic, you're like, I got something that can change the world. That doesn't mean you can market to the whole world. So you got to be intentional about what problem you're solving and how you're going to help them. And when you do that, when you pick that profitable problem, then other people will bring more clients to you because they know who to fit. They're like, oh, that's the person who focuses on this. This is a focused problem. Let me introduce you. And you get more referrals that way. So the last thing I just want to say is if you like these takeaways, if you want to learn more, I mean, I'm always investing. My team is always investing in ourselves, growing and developing our skills. Then I want to invite you to come be a part of our, we're hosting a 5-day free challenge. It's called the High Income Health Expert Challenge. In this challenge, I'm going to show you step by step what you can do to monetize your health knowledge online, how to attract clients who want to pay you, how to, we're going to be talking about how to impact people's lives, disconnect your income generation from your time, how, and so many other things. You have an opportunity when you buy the VIP. It's a free event to attend, but if you invest in the $49 VIP, you can get on Zoom with me, ask me any questions about your health knowledge, your health education, your business, and I'd love to help you. So just go to highincomehealthexpert.com and you can sign up. It's free. We do it the first Thursday of every month, and or you can call or text the number on the screen, and we'll give you the details. Just text the number, text the word challenge to the number, and we'll be glad to give you the information to help you. I'd love to work together in this challenge to help you to get your message to the masses so you can move the multitudes and serve the people you're called to serve. These are just some of the takeaways. There's so many powerful nuggets, but I'm going to be sharing more of them in the future as well. But these are some of the best lessons I learned from Funnel Hacking Live, and I hope to see you again. Remember, friends, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.